We have an incredible update to share with you this morning about a story that aired a few weeks ago on New Day. You'll remember that our Dr. Sanjay Gupta profiled a man named Kevin Hines who tried to end his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. He survived, and since then he dedicated his life to suicide prevention and raising awareness about mental illness. Here's just a short clip from Sanjay's report.
What surprised me then, still surprises me now, is the story that Kevin tells about the day that he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. He made this pact with himself, which was that if anybody basically is kind to me, if anybody looks at me and says, "What's wrong? Can I help you?" wants to be compassionate in some way, if anybody had done that for him, he wouldn't have jumped. That stuck with me, and I think in some ways it has influenced and directed a lot of the other stories that I do. It's never about a single individual. It's always about the circle of individuals, the ecosystem of society as a whole.
Okay, here's the incredible update. 2 women living in Los Angeles saw Sanjay's story, and they say they were inspired to intervene and save a man's life because of that story. Their husbands captured this harrowing ordeal on video of them trying to talk someone off from jumping. And joining us now are those women, Jen Princevay and Tony Musso. And CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta is also with us. Oh my gosh, ladies, what an incredible story. Just, I know that your husbands captured that home video, cell phone video, I guess, of you trying to talk to that desperate man. Can you just bring us back to that day and tell us what happened?
We were just chit-chatting, and all of a sudden she looked up, and we were at the Canaan Bridge overpass, and she went, "Oh my God, is that guy going to jump off the bridge?" And we saw him on the outside of the bridge, just starting to make his way out towards the center of the bridge. And the first thing we did was, call 911. We went under the bridge very, very quickly. We said, call 911, which we did. And then within seconds, that interview with Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Kevin Hines just came back to me. And I said, we have to turn back. We have to go back. And they said, what? Why? And I said, because I heard this interview and this is what Kevin said if anyone tried to stop him. And so she was like, pull off the road. And we pulled off and we looped back around. We pulled over. There he was, just all the way in the center now at this point of that freeway overpass. And, we looked at him and the first thing we said is, we love you. Please don't jump.
Sanjay, in that clip we showed, this is exactly what you say you're hoping for in your stories, to tell one story that everyone sees and learns from. What is it like to hear this?
I mean, it's very emotional. And Jen and Tony, you got to save a life. Just let that sink in. You got to save somebody's life. Somebody is here today that likely would not have been without you. That's what we try and do. I think all of us as journalists, right? We don't get to see the impact, I think, of stories that we do. That's the challenge sometimes with being a journalist. Here it's a very tangible sort of thing. And a good reminder that I think it's within all of us to be able to save a life. Look people in the eye, say hello to people. We turn away when we see somebody who may be mentally ill. Someone having a cardiac arrest, you pump on their chest. If they're clearly in mental crisis, we often turn away. They didn't. Somebody's probably alive today because of it.
Tony, what did he say to you? What did you say to him in those moments of crisis?
He kept saying he just didn't have anything to live for. He didn't want to live anymore. So there was one point where I thought he was actually going to fall back and let go. And I just put my hands up on the fence with him. And I said, just hold my hands with me and just look at me and listen to me. And I just talked to him gently. And then I said, when I really thought he was going to jump, I said, imagine what could happen to the people below. You're not only going to hurt yourself, but potentially there's a family in a car. And the two of us have to witness this horrible, horrific act. If you can just get through today, tomorrow might be a little different. You might feel different. You may not have wanted to do this. You just got to give yourself one more day. Just give me one more day with you. And I promise I'll stay with you. And he agreed to. And then I just kind of started walking him off the overpass. And then when the police came, he got very startled. And at that point, he said, they're going to arrest me. And I said, I won't let them do that. Just stay with me. And we were about halfway through where I knew that he was actually ready to not hurt himself or anybody else. And he got scared and he started to look back, and I said, just don't look back. Just keep looking at me and keep walking with me. I'm here with you and I'm not going to let you go. And I continued to walk off the bridge with him.
The police came up and we said, you need to leave us alone. And there were two sets of police officers that came up, and you can see them in the video kind of turn away and walk away. And they said, you guys got this, you got this.
And you guys tell it so matter-of-factly, but the fact is, this is extraordinary. I mean, you put yourselves on the line. You hung it all out there and really took a chance. And hats off to you. It's just remarkable what you did. And Jen, I know this is personal for you also. Your sister-in-law took her own life, correct?
She did. Yes, she did. And, as having it, within my own family, I have gone through what suicide and mental illness looks like. And it's so painful, and it's preventable. I don't want to say it's always preventable, but it can be preventable. I feel grateful that we're here and that we're able to even share this story, because it is a ripple effect.
Sanjay, I mean, just last, hope is also contagious, Yeah. And so I know that the suicide rate is a real problem in this country right now. But talking about it like this is the answer, Sanjay.
I think there's no question. I mean, suicide rate, just the numbers are startling. That it's gone up 33% over the last 20 years. We look at what's happening in this country. Life expectancy is dropping. Much of it is self-inflicted, and suicide's part of that. But you're absolutely right. I mean, and it's all within us to be able to try and make a difference. It's the lack of hope that I think oftentimes drives people, and if you can provide it in some way, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, Jen and Tony might not be there, but someone is. There is someone there always. Sanjay, thank you for your reporting.
You.
Jen and Tony, thank you for being heroes.
Yeah.
Such heroes.
You're
we really
welcome.
do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I want to put up this so everyone can
Thank
see it
you.
right now. This is the Suicide Prevention Lifeline.